Hi, this is Benjamin, founder of Farm Again. We just crossed a crucial milestone of crossing 10 years in the field of precision agriculture. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we really did in the last 10 years, the kind of researches that we carried out, the product lines we brought to the market, and also a journey into the future, what we have in our mind as planned for the next few years to long term. All of us would have heard about green revolution. So it was during the period between 1950s and 1970s. There was a severe drought, and because of which there was a loss of productivity, and which resulted in a large population of this world was not really able to eat. And that is when green revolution came in. A lot of scientists got involved, and the concepts of hybrid seeds and the chemical fertilizers were given birth during that period. And thankfully, it did its job. People were able to eat because with less water, they were able to produce more food using the hybrid seeds and the chemical fertilizers, and therefore the hunger really did come down. So after the green revolution, technologies evolved in agriculture. And again, if you really compare across other industries as well, post 1950s, the advancements of technology was immense. You can see now the information technology industry. We talk about artificial intelligence, and it is really going to a level that was unimagined even 10, 15 years ago. And if you look at industrial automation, even the automotive industries, the level of sophistication that has gone into is really unimaginable. If you compare the technological advancements of other industries and agriculture, you really cannot say agricultural technological advancements is highly developed, and also we cannot say that it has been widespread like in other industries. The highly developed technologies are limited to few pockets and few geographical regions across the world. Hasn't really reached to the hands of most farmers. And if you look at sophisticated paddy growing countries, they use transplanters where the machine has the capability to pick one single plant and then keep planting and finish a few acres of planting in a matter of a couple of hours. And such advancements have not really come to our place. And it is there, but very, very limited extent. And this is the time we got into the field of agriculture. And our objective was to get into the precision farming and really revolutionize how precision farming is being seen, not just in India, but across the world. So we started off with a few trials in 2013. The major crops that we started with were tomato and watermelon. So we had consultants who were knowledgeable, who were able to guide us on precision farming, and we did develop a kind of an SOP before we actually ventured into farming. And we went by the book, and the results were amazing. For example, we had great yields in tomato, but what was important was as far as watermelon goes, generally if you go to a field, you will see watermelon size ranging between 1.5 kilos and 8 and even 10 kilos. And when you take it to the market, from 6 kg to about 10 kg goes as first quality or first grade, and anything less than that goes as a second grade. And if you go to a farm where they grow watermelon, you will see the second grade being probably 60% to 80%, and the remaining would be the first quality. And first quality is where they get the best revenue. And in our case, we really had taken a lot of painstaking effort, and the end result was fantastic. We were able to get almost uniform size on all the fruits. The typical size range was anywhere between 6.5 and 8 kilos, and almost uniform. The second quality was hardly few tons across 40 acres of cultivation. So with these two crops, we were very, very confident that the concept of precision farming is going to really work. And once we gained confidence, we tried few other crops, typical crops that we get in our region. And almost all the crops we had grand success. So after we had seen success in our own farm, what we did was we spread across India, and we collaborated with farmers from different regions, and we were trying to share the knowledge we had gained and we were trying to get them also onto precision farming. And again, if we spoke to, let's say, 100 farmers, maybe 3, 4 would sign up into the precision farming trials, and each of those trials were actual phenomenal success. And the second cycle, so a farmer who was able to get about 84 tons of tomato, in his second cycle was only able to get around 17 to 18 tons. And it was not only the farmers who we collaborated with and tried precision farming, it was back in my farm as well. Any crop we try for the first time, we see a massive success. And in the second attempt, it was not a massive success, including in my own farm. And when we tried understanding the reasons behind, collected the data, tried making a comparison, what we understood was as we gain knowledge in one cycle and get into the next cycle, typically we tend to get into some kind of short cuts instead of following the book as is. So these shortcuts actually resulted in not so great productivity. A typical example is, if you really do x plus y the whole square, the result has to be always consistent provided x and y don't change. And when you do change x and y, the results will change for sure. So that is exactly what happened in our case as well. We had an SOP, but the adherence to the SOP was not as great in the second time as it was in the first time. And because of which the results started going down. Which is when we felt the need to build a technology around this, where the process adherence or the SOP adherence is not human dependent, but rather technology driven, just like an industrial automation would run. And that is how the concept of Grotron came in. That is when we felt a need to build a technology that will follow the SOP on its own and eliminate human dependency as far as possible in adherence to the SOP. So if you are able to build a technology of that kind, then, and if you are able to eliminate human dependency as far as the SOP adherence is concerned, the x plus y, the whole square has to remain intact. That was the principle behind. And we just went ahead building a technology. So when we started building the technology, we tried applying the knowledge we had gained into the technology. So what the knowledge we gained was this. It was called the 3 golden rules of agriculture. The rule number 1, maintain the right moisture at the root zone. And we named it as air-water balance. So maintain the right air and water balance at the root zone. The rule number 2, according to the genetic capacity of the plant, calculate the right fertilizers in a way the plant will take what it needs and there is nothing left in the soil as a residue. So, and make that mineral available to the soil when it needs. Rule number 2. And the rule number 3, if you follow rule number 1 and rule number 2, the plant has no other option but to perform. And these were the 3 golden rules of agriculture. Of course, there are other parameters such as soil EC, soil pH, the sunlight, CO2. These are all, excluding these, the core of the 3 principles is what we followed in the core of the technology. So we went ahead building a technology where the air-water balance of the soil was maintained by continuously sensing the soil, and based on the feedback from the sensors, we again built an artificial intelligence layer where the data from the sensors as well as from weather stations will be used to predict when the moisture may dry up, and before it could dry up, irrigate it so that the moisture doesn't dry. So to that extent, we had used network of sensors, actuators to actuate the valves, and the whole journey was made completely autonomous. And it is not only the irrigation, we also built a fertigation system where the right fertilizer, right quantity, right time to the right zone was supplied, and all of it again was autonomous. Now, is that enough? Are these 3 golden rules enough? Of course, enough for the basic operation, but not really a comprehensive operation. Therefore, what we did was, after we launched our system with these basic principles, where the air-water balance was maintained and the right mineral at the right quantity to the right zone was applied. We went on to build systems where you could do pH balance, you could actually maintain a certain EC in the fertilizer you supply, and we even went on to building a system that could balance carbon dioxide within a closed cultivation method, and we could also manage lightings. So we went on to build this technology as comprehensive as possible, where you could really take care of the entire gamut, the whole spectrum of agricultural space, particularly the crop growing phase. A lot of technologies have come for pre-cultivation and post-harvest, but we specifically stuck to and focused on the during cultivation phase. That is where we wanted to have our technology intervention to take place. So, like I said, we built this technology. The expected outcome with which we built this technology was primarily to increase the productivity. So, from the same area, can I get more harvest? Was one objective we had. The second objective, obviously, was to see how much of water can be reduced. And today, I can proudly say that we have been instrumental in all the farms where we have installed Grotron to exactly achieve these two objectives. And most farms have reduced their water usage by certainly more than 50%. And some may not have as much as 50%, but most certainly have saved more than 50% of water. And the second, on the productivity front, to give you some numbers, we have been able to get 84 tons tomato, around 106 tons sugarcane. And tomato, again, I have to insist that it is open farm cultivation. So we have even collaborated with institutions like Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, and we have done paddy cultivation with drip irrigation and Grotron, and have seen massive success with that. So most of the crops, most of the farmers that we have worked with, we have been able to really show great productivity gain and reduction in water, absolute terms, heavy reduction in water usage. And because of these benefits, what we also see is that most of our business comes only through reference. One farmer satisfied shows another farmer to us, and that is how we grow our business. We have really not done great advertisements, and it is only through referrals from our farmers. And most farmers also have high regards for the way we give them post-installation service. And similarly, most farmers have got high regard in our approach towards sale itself, where we don't really force them into a sale, rather try to give a solution. So last 10 years, just to summarize, we tried precision farming, learned the art, built a team, built a technology, matured it. Now the technology wise, it is in the version 3, and we have been able to really show productivity and reduction in water. We have also been able to keep our customers happy because of our post-installation service. And one more important point I wanted to say is that when we show reduction in water usage, it directly correlates to the amount of carbon footprint we actually contribute to. And most industries, it has become a common practice where they can exchange carbon credit. And in agriculture also, I foresee this happen in all the countries. And when that happens, and when we're able to authentically say that we have been able to reduce this much water, there could be a day in the near future where the farmers will be able to exchange carbon credit and benefit even on that front. I hope the contents in this video was useful. Maybe you were able to get one or two insights, and thank you for watching. So if you did find this video useful, please do share with your friends, and if you really want to get notified, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you. See you in the next video.